What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another verse of the week. Today's verse of the week is going to be a little passage, actually. It comes from Proverbs 16:23-28, and it says this: Wise people always think before they speak, so what they say is worth listening to. Kind words are like honey. They're easy to accept and good for your health. There is a way that seems right to people, but that way leads only to death. The thought of hunger keeps the workers working so they can eat. Troublemakers create disasters. Their advice destroys like a wildfire. Troublemakers are always causing problems. Their gossip breaks up the closest friends. The reason I wanted to do this little passage that I read to you guys is because I want to make this video for anybody that is struggling with gossiping or talking about other people behind their back. And this video also goes for me because I also struggle with that, especially with the work environment that I have. So it's very stressful sometimes. So when it says, wise people always think before they speak, so what they say is worth listening to, it's basically talking about, if you think before you speak, when you don't just speak just basically to hear your own voice, you are wise and most people will listen to you. But if you're just talking just to talk and you don't really think about the words that are coming out of your mouth, it's basically stupidity and not very wise going. And kind words are like honey. They are good for your health. So if you're talking to somebody with respect, kindness, and love, it is good, not only good for their health, but it's good for your health. So it is very important to always speak to people with love, kindness, and respect, even though you might not want to, and even though they might be getting on your last living nerve. It is important to just talk to them with love and respect and kindness and gentleness and patience. What is the next verse? There's a way that seems right to people, but that way leads only to death. There's a way that seems right to people, but that way only leads to death. Yeah. So, sorry. You might think what you're doing is the right decision to do, but in reality, it probably will only lead to destruction. And just before you decide to basically go out of your way to talk about somebody behind their back to another person, you could potentially be destroying a relationship with somebody, or just destroying somebody's day. I don't have the right words for that, but you could be very destructive with that. So just be careful. The thought of hunger keeps the workers working so they can eat. So basically, the thought of gossiping about somebody keeps somebody going throughout their day, which is very scary. Their advice, troublemakers create disasters. Their advice destroys like a wildfire. So if you have somebody coming up to you gossiping, or if you are going up to somebody gossiping, you are basically a disaster. Your advice or their advice is like a wildfire. It spreads very quickly. So if you're gossiping about somebody behind their back, or if somebody is gossiping about whoever to you about whoever's back, it's basically like a wildfire. Everybody will find out eventually, and the truth will come out eventually, and the truth is never hidden in the darkness because the light will always shine. Troublemakers are always causing problems. Their gossip breaks up the closest friends. So even though whoever you're gossiping about, or whoever is the one gossiping or whatever, even though you might not be friends with them, you could, like I said, it is like a wildfire. It will spread to everybody, even though you might not think it will. You could potentially be breaking up a friendship or just hurting somebody just by the words that are coming out of your mouth. So it's very important to think before you speak to somebody or behind their back. Just if you feel like if you're getting ready to gossip about somebody because of the way they treated you, or how angry they made you, or whatever, or what they said or did or whatever, just instead of talking about them in a negative way, talk about them in a good way and think about the good things that they have done, because it sorry guys, because it will help you to think more positively, and it will help you to be more happy than to be angry. But if you're like somebody that is easily angered, and that is easily annoyed, I meant, and you are somebody that just holds on to something like throughout the whole day or weeks or whatever, go to wherever you feel the most peace at, and talk to God. And praying is just, it's not some ritual thing that you have to do. Talking to God and praying is the same thing. Praying is basically you're talking to God, and you're having a relationship with somebody. And even though a lot of people say, how do you know God is real? Or how do you build a relationship with somebody that you can't hear or see or feel or anything? If you really listen and you really take your time, you could hear God, and you could feel him, and you might not be able to physically see him, but if you look around, he will show his ways to you. If you don't believe, I encourage you to just try talking to him, and he will show his ways to you. And so just as you go along this week, remember to talk to people with kindness and love and respect, and just about people as well. And if you're easily angered with the way somebody is talking to you or to someone else, or the way somebody did something, or their actions, or what they did or what they said or whatever, and they angered you, and you feel like you have to go over to somebody else and gossip and say, hey, this person did this or whatever, remember to take a few deep breaths before you do that. Really think about the situation, really have a deep thought about it, and really take some deep breaths and think about what you might say, and remember to just pray to God that he gives you the strength, and just gossip to God, because he is the one that you need to run to if you want to gossip. And gossiping is just, it destroys a lot of people's lives and it hurts a lot of people's relationship. So just as you go along this week, remember to love everybody, treat everybody with kindness and respect and love, even though they might not do the same back. It is better to be the bigger person than to be the stupid person, basically. So I hope you guys have a great week, and I will see you guys next week.